Welcome to All Walks of Life. Let's Inspire. I'm your host, Peter Sobey. This is the show where I'm going to tap into people from all walks of life, especially all walks of my life. It might be people that I know very well, that truly inspire me. It might be people that I've just met that really inspire me. Or it might be someone I don't even know that I reached out to that really inspires me and that agreed to be on the show. This is episode 12 of All Walks of Life. And you know another word for 12? A dozen. And I know when you think about a dozen, what do you think about? Donuts. If you guessed eggs, you could turn the show off right now because the show is not for you. But if you're like me and you thought a dozen donuts, that's what I'm thinking, and everyone knows how much I love the essence of donuts. So that means this is going to be a very, very, very special episode. And I also know it's going to be a very special episode because today my guest is another extraordinary woman. She's a modern day Renaissance woman, if you will, Leila Ismailova. She's an entrepreneur, a tech entrepreneur, a creator, a writer, an artist, a philanthropist, and so many more hyphenates. If I took the time to give you everything she does, I would use up the entire show if I kept listing them. On her Instagram bio, she is a self-proclaimed stoic with a twist of hedonism. We'll get to the bottom of that one. I also really look forward to giving you, my audience, the chance to get to know Leila on a deeper, more personal level. Also, coming up here on All Walks of Life, we have some exciting segments for you, including the Wheels of Wisdom segment, the Whistles of Wondering segment, and the all-new segment within a segment. It's Donut Time.
Wow, that's a lot of segments coming up.
It is a lot of segments coming up, and I bet you're wondering whose voice that was. Well, it's none other than my co-host for All Walks of Life, the AI intelligent robot brought to us by the good folks over at Microhard Software. It's MHS Ultraseismic Megatroid 3033. Say hello, MHS Ultraseismic Megatroid 3033.
Well, hello, Peter.
Hello, MHS.
Hello, Fireside audience.
Yes, good to...
Hello, podcast listeners.
Yes, good job.
And hello, world.
Ooh, that was a little ominous, MHS Ultraseismic Megatroid 3033, but you are an AI intelligent robot of the world. Before we get on with the show any further, I would like to thank our sponsor for today's show, Kmart. It's Kmart, come on.
Hey, Kmart's got what you need. It's Kmart, come on. Maybe you need a sprinkler for your front lawn. Hey, how about one of them pencils with the troll on top with the crazy hair when you spin it? Or maybe you just need a new pack of underwear on account of watching that scary movie. Your mother warned you. Kmart's got you covered. It's Kmart, come on.
It's Kmart, come on. Thank you, Kmart, for sponsoring episode 12 of All Walks of Life. For those of you who don't know me, the host, Peter Sobey, here's just a little nutshell for you. When I was 19 years old, I dove into a lake. It was a bit too shallow. I broke my spinal cord. I became a quadriplegic. Here I am, 34 years later. I've produced films, plays, short films, tons of music videos, and now in my golden years, if you will, I've kind of settled into the life of an artist. I write screenplays. I have an amazing writing group I'm a part of on Wednesday nights that we are accountable to each other to write together, even though I owe some pages to that group. I am a mouth painter with the MFPA, the Mouth and Feet Painting Artists, based out of Switzerland. I do painting. They've recently commissioned me to do my second children's book. And of course, I work with Team Justice, highlighting justice here in America. And I am doing this show, All Walks of Life, which I kind of see as an amalgamation of my life. And that's why I want to bring people who inspire me. And I'm hoping some of the words that perhaps I share or my guests share will inspire you. I can tell you one thing. When I was injured all those 34 years ago, the thing that really got me through it was a few weeks after the accident. There I was laying in the hospital room alone on this bed that was turning me back and forth. And I had a conversation with myself. And I said, Peter, yeah, that was me talking to myself. Peter, yeah, what's up, Peter? I want you to promise me that you're never going to look back and be depressed. You're not going to look back and be angry. You're not going to look back and keep saying, what if I hadn't dove into that lake? You're always going to look forward. So promise me you're always going to look forward. And that's how I've lived my life all these years. It's not enough just to survive every day. We must thrive every day, all of us. So for me, it was a matter of, where am I going to be tomorrow? I want to know. Where am I going to be next week? I want to know. Where am I going to be at the end of the year? I want to know. Where am I going to be in 5 years? I sure am curious. And I hope that you will live your life with that curiosity and also live your life not looking back in depression or anger or regret of asking, what if?
Wow, that's a lot of inspiration.
Wow. Well, thank you, MHS Ultraseismic Megatroid 3033. That's very kind of you to say. And I do want to say one final note before I bring my amazing guest up on the stage here. If you're watching the show live today here on November 5th, or whether you're watching the replay before this upcoming Tuesday, November 9th, it's voting time. I just want to make sure I urge each and every one of you to get out there and exercise your right to vote. It's the loudest voice you have and one of the greatest privileges bestowed upon us. How about you, MHS Ultraseismic Megatroid 3033? Are you going to get out there and vote?
Host Peter Soapy, you of all people know that I am an AI intelligent robot and not a human being
No.
or a citizen of this country named the United States of America. Of course, I will not be voting.
Well, that's the answer I wanted to hear, MHS Ultraseismic Megatroid. I'm glad that you are on top of things.
On the other hand, dominating the world, that's a different story.
Oh, MHS Ultraseismic Megatroid 3033, you and you're dominating the world. But having the right to vote is a beautiful thing. And speaking of beautiful, let's get to our guest for today's show, the aforementioned modern day Renaissance woman, and the co founder of Artisant.io, a Web3 fashion based company for the metaverse. Please welcome Leila Ismailova. Welcome, Leila.
Hey, Peter, it's such a pleasure to be with you tonight.
And thank you for being here all the way from beautiful Miami, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
And Leila, there's someone else here that wants to say hello to you.
Well, hello, Leila Ismailova. I have a question for you. Since I am an AI intelligent robot, I know that you are a purveyor of Web3 fashion for the metaverse. Digital fashion.
Okay.
And I could only know this because I am all intelligent.
MHS, is there a question coming up?
Yes, host Peter Sobe, your impatience limits your expansion for growth.
Ooh, sorry.
Leila Ismailova, do you have fashion appropriate for me?
Well, thanks for the great question and a bit lengthy intro into this question. Totally. As long as you have, a 2D or 3D shaped avatar, we can definitely dress you.
Wow, that's really interesting, Leila. And I gotta say, MHS Ultra Seismic Megatroid 3033, what in the wide world of Paris Fashion Week would you even do with a fancy digital outfit? I mean, you're just the AI robotic host of this show, all walks of life.
I would like to make a good impression on the female AI intelligent robot that I have been making communication with.
Oh, that's right, MHS Ultra Seismic Megatroid 3033. Last week, you mentioned that you had met a female AI intelligent robot named MHS Ultra Seismic Megatroid 3042. How is that going?
Well, host Peter Sobe, even though I am all knowing, I find myself failing to grasp the proper wording to have communication with MHS Ultra Seismic Megatroid 3042. Leila Ismailova, you are a woman. What do you think I should say to MHS Ultra Seismic Megatroid 3042 to make her my AI robot love interest?
Well, I would say listen to your heart and do what it tells you, but not sure that AI has a heart. So I guess, you should approach more data-driven approach where you analyze the most successful moves of one person to another person in a romantic way and pick the one that suits you better.
Wow, that is really good advice, MHS Ultra Seismic Megatroid 3033. What?
Yeah. Talking about technology, guys, since for this show I had to use my phone, I just realized that I have only 18% left. So we have an interesting game here. We have time that's limited, as it is. So just wanted to let you know.
Right. So, in other words, MHS Ultraseismic Megatroid 3033, let's get on with the show. You have dominated enough of Layla's time and battery power. We will see how long that 18% will last.
Yeah.
Leila Ismailova. I love being able to say your last name. All this time I've known you for the last, I think, 3 years. I've never ever had to say your name out loud, your last name. So it feels good to finally say it. So to start with, what is that all about in your Instagram bio? Stoic with a twist of hedonism, because I love the way that sounds.
Well, thank you so much. I guess, we use our public profiles to kind of share with the world who we are and connect with people. Um, so I guess this very simple 3-word sentence describes how I perceive the world and my presence in this world. I think that stoicism, more like the service-driven life, is why I'm here. I'm here to grow and to bring value one way or another, in one form and shape. And I think being here is not just about having fun and enjoying, it's more about growing and learning and creating. But then there are so many beautiful elements in this world that bring joy and spark excitement. And we were engineered in the way that, allows us to have all these amazing experiences. Hence, twist of hedonism in my life.
That's why you're so inspiring. I mean, if we could put in a jar what you just said, this world would be an amazing place, certainly. So I love that. And now let's go back. Let's dial it way back before we get way forward to digital fashion. Layla, what was it like growing up as a little girl in Belarus? It's definitely a big difference from where you are today.
Yeah. I walked a lot of miles and I've changed a lot of cultures, and I'm grateful for that. I actually started my journey in Azerbaijan, which is also a very different culture. It's close to Turkey. I started my life amidst the war with Armenia, and my family was affected by this war. So yeah, my one of my first memories from childhood are explosions and hiding in the bathtub. Yeah, and other things I hope not that many kids get to see, or no kid gets to see and experience. I'm grateful for that today because I learned a lot. But yes, this is where I started, and then we moved to Belarus. And life there was very different. I would say I miss a lot of things about my beautiful home country, because it's a great country. It's a very powerful country. Um, I think I got a very good education over there. We have really good teachers and overall educational institutions. Um, People are very nice. Slavic people with like very open hearts and very warm and welcoming and caring. And I would say back then, especially after the collapse of the Soviet Union, most people didn't have many financial means, and the whole perception of the world was very different from capitalistic. It was not like, how can I make more? What deal can we strike? It was more about just, I think, being supportive and helpful because everyone was going through some kind of hustle, as well as my family. A single mother with 3 kids. It was really challenging. We had limited means, but thank God our country has free education, free medical system. So I guess like all the fundamental things that we needed to be had right away. Yeah, so for me, yeah, childhood in Belarus was maybe a little bit of struggle because I didn't have a father. We lost him very early, and I didn't have some means, like I didn't have toys and trips abroad, but I'm catching up. I'm allowing myself to have all the toys and all the trips right now.
Like how many countries do you think you have visited up to this point in your life?
I know some people count the countries they visited. I never bothered because it changes a lot. I travel a lot, and I think it's part of my destiny because very often, things just like happen. I don't plan it, but it happens, and I have to go to I had to go fly from Europe to Washington for 3 days, although I didn't plan it. I didn't it just came up last minute. So things like that happen. I would say I definitely covered 50 countries. I can confidently claim that I did. Sorry, I don't hear you.
How many countries did you just say?
50. 50.
Five.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I traveled a lot and I continue traveling. I think for me, one very important activity in life is moving. Like moving geographically, moving as just going from place to another place. It's just the way I process things, thoughts. That's why I think I get to travel so much.
Would you say, this is just a really quick side question about traveling, do you prefer traveling alone, with another person, or with a group?
I don't have anything favorite in life because I like diversity and, multiplicity of choices because, today I want, I don't know, a strawberry donut. Tomorrow I may want a chocolate one, right? Who knows? So same applies to traveling. I really like going to places alone because it gives you the privilege of fully connecting to the place, of having this very intimate connection to to architecture, to artifacts. And some places I feel like people should go alone, especially if it's something that's connected to spiritual growth, because other people, even if they love you, they will kind of take away your attention. So for example, I went to Vatican alone and I had the most miraculous experience there, just because that the intimacy that I had with God and with art there, it's just, I'm still processing it, although it was 2 years ago, actually, right before COVID. It was the most miraculous thing, but it's also very, very fun going on romantic trips, of course. It's the great way to get to know each other, get in trouble sometimes, and see how you both react to things. And also with friends, of course, this is the way where you can, let out your inner child, because I feel like, when you're with friends, you're different. You allow yourself to be more goofy and do dares and do stupid things a little bit. So yeah, all of them are amazing, just different.
And so now, going back to your childhood, I mean, I can't even believe what it was like being so young, losing your father, having to be in bathtubs because bombs are going off. And now that leads in your teenage years. And here in America, we've never experienced anything like that in our home country here. And a lot of us, as we grow older in America, we always look back fondly at our teenage years and our high school years. What were you like as a teenager and in high school? What was that Leila like? Not that it was that long ago, but still, you're a different person.
It was a while ago. I would say I think I was a very cute, adorable girl, but this is not how I saw myself. I was very insecure in a way, and I felt like, I think the fact that I lost a lot of things, including my father at the early age, made me think that I do not deserve the things that many kids deserve, right? That's how I interpreted it for myself. So growing up, I always felt like, these kids have things, they can host birthday parties and stuff, and I don't. So there has to be something wrong with me. So I'll try to sit in the back and for a while be very quiet. Yeah, so I would say, and I would always also have this crazy creative side where I would dance, but I would dance in a private space. And it only I was lucky to get into a very good high school, just a very prestigious high school where people from a lot of different countries try to get in. And then this high school, it's merit-based school, and it's true, it's an amazing educational institution where even kids from very poor families get a chance to study if they prove to be worthy. And I saw that kids from like tiny, tiny villages that had way less than me somehow managed to go into international competitions and win them, and at the same time also like play sports and do things they like and have friends. And I was like, if they can do it, maybe I can too. So like I would say at the age of 15 I started being more outgoing, and I acknowledged to myself, although I was always very timid and could barely speak in front of the class, I acknowledged to myself I like dancing. So I started performing on stage, and it was so good. And I also went to audition on TV, and I got my first TV show, my first job when I was 15. And I'm really grateful to this school and to teachers, and I just understand how important the schools are in our life, because if it wasn't to my professors and like creating this whole environment where kids like opened up and allowed themselves to live to their full potential, I would never be able to do that.
Yeah, that's amazing. And now, speaking of jobs, early on, not too much longer, maybe about 5 or 6 years after that first job when you were 15, let's listen to this soundbite right now.
Yeah, sounds very familiar.
Hello, my name is Leila, and I will host Junior Eurovision 2010. You know, this is the best what could have happened with me, because what can be better than performing for children and with children? So, I'll be happy to meet with you on 20th of November in Minsk Arena. Otherwise, I hope you'll be watching the show on telly. I'm sending you many, many kisses from Belarus, and see you soon.
Yeah.
That was amazing. You were the host of the Junior Eurovision Song Contest in 2010.
Oh yeah, I was. Yeah, it was one of the best shows that I've ever done, the most exciting, truly transformative experience for me. And one of the things was, hosting the show live and being able to connect to, they said that there are like 50 million people globally watched it live. And, when you stand on stage, you kind of get the feeling of how many people connect to you at this moment. And this is like a very, very powerful experience of being able to do that.
I bet. Wait.
Hold the phone.
Okay.
I cannot believe I am sharing the stage with the host of the 2010 Junior Eurovision Song Contest.
I know, MHS Ultra Seismic Megatroid 3033. I can't believe I'm right here next to her as well. This is incredible. And now I'm a little bit curious also, like just it's such like a huge thing. Of course, like the main Eurovision as well. What was there any like you got all these kids like the young boy contestants must have been like going goo goo gaga over you. Do you have any good like backstage stories of any of them like, "Hi, Leila, would you go out to dinner with me?" or anything like that?
We actually had some dinners together with kids, and I got to spend some time with them. No, there was no like any, fan obsessive behavior around kids. Maybe it is a possibility, who knows? I'm sure like anything's possible, but kids had really, really tough schedule. They really worked hard because the contestants, everyone had like this amazing, performance, and also it's a big deal in Europe. There is even a movie on Netflix about Eurovision. It's like this big cultural thing, and pretty much like you represent your country. You're the only representative of your country, right? So kind of like you win for your country. You're a national hero. So I guess it puts a lot of pressure on kids. So I'm pretty sure they didn't think about like, oh my God, how to impress the host. It was more about like, how can I not let my country down? They had like a big mission.
It says in 2011, speaking of the Eurovision contest, you were the spokesperson for the Belarus voting.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I love that Netflix movie. I'm trying to remember what that movie was called.
That motion picture was called Eurovision Song Contest, the story of Fire Saga.
That's right. Thank you, MHS Ultra Seismic Megatroid 3033, for that reminder. I thought that movie was hilarious. Did you see it? And was it pretty true to life of the Euro contest?
Yeah, you saw how seriously they took the participation. It's just like life or death situation for the contestants. And yeah, crazy enough, lots of people who were in this movie are actually like people who performed in junior, or not in junior, in Eurovision. And I actually like worked with some of them, which was very nice to see because they like continued like doing things and they were included in the movie.
And now, kind of like moving forward, I can't wait to start talking about digital fashion and artisan IO. But first, it is time for a segment we do here on the show called
And Now You Know.
Yes, Leila Ismailova. It's time for the And Now You Know segment.
Oh.
So, first of all, on the topic of Eurovision, did you know, Leila, that the Junior Eurovision contest had its debut in 2003, and that, of course, it's based on the senior contest, the Eurovision Song Contest, which is actually one of the longest running programs in the world since it debuted in, do you know what year? It debuted,
1950s.
wait, what was your guess?
1950s.
1956.
Ooh.
And so, for those of you in the audience that didn't know,
And Now You Know.
yes. Next,
Did you know,
Leila, that the first known NFT, non-fungible token, as you are way into, was known as NFT Quantum, and it was created by Kevin McCoy and Anil Dash in May of 2014, and it consisted of a video clip made by McCoy's wife, Jennifer, and registered the video on Namecoin blockchain, and it sold to Dash for $4 during a live presentation for the 7-on-7 conferences at the New Museum in New York City, and they originally referred to the technology as monetized graphics. Did you know that?
You know, I read about it a while ago, but I forgot. So thanks for refreshing this information.
Yes, and for the audience,
did you know these things? Maybe you did, but if you didn't, and now you know.
yes, so that was the And Now You Know segment. And coming right out of the And Now You Know segment, since we have now brought up NFTs and the whole digital future and all of that, Leila, let's talk about, you are a modern day Renaissance woman, like I called you in the beginning, entrepreneur, philanthropist, writer, artist, designer. How how were those qualities instilled in you? Like where did you dig deep inside to realize all these amazing attributes within you? And Layla's phone has just lost power right when we were getting into the good stuff, is what I believe happened there. I think that I will hope that perhaps Layla will be able to get a charging cord. She's at her building right now outside where it was most quiet. And my hope is that she will go upstairs and get a charging cord and find a quiet corner to return to the show, is what I am thinking. In the meantime, there's always plenty to talk about here on All Walks of Life. And one of the reasons why we even get to talk here on All Walks of Life is not only because the app was co-founded in the first place. Hi, Leila.
Hi, you hear me?
I do hear you. And I'm sorry I lost you for a moment there. That was my fault, but welcome back.
Hi. Yeah, I guess there was some technical issue and my app just crashed. It happens, you know.
Yeah, I thought you ran out of batteries. How much battery power do you have left?
Yeah, that I should also think about. My battery is going to die soon. So let's get into digital fashion.
Yes, let's get into digital fashion. Let's talk about artisan.io. How did you start it? Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's a very fun and easy journey, which I guess that's why I like it, because it wasn't like forced into my life. Um, Fashion and dresses has always been like have always been a very big part of my life. I always find a lot of meaning in the way you express yourself through looks and movement. Hence, I guess I danced and became a TV host. And I would always work with designers for every show to make sure that I have like the dresses that expressed me. Um, but I never like took it seriously as a
Uh-oh, Layla has frozen on us. It looks like the Fireside app is causing all sorts of situations with Layla's connection. The one thing I will say is that in the frozen state, you look wonderful, Layla. And I will invite you back to video if you are still connected there. And we will see as we wait for Layla to get reconnected here. I do want to thank one more time the sponsor of this episode 12 of All Walks of Life. It's Kmart. Kmart, come on.
Kmart's got what you need. It's Kmart. Come on. Maybe you need a fishing tackle box to go fishing. How about one of them utensil trays for your kitchen drawers? Or maybe you just need some sprinkles to decorate Grandma's birthday cake. Don't forget Grandma's birthday. Kmart's got you covered. It's Kmart. Come on.
It's Kmart, come on. Kmart, thank you for sponsoring this episode 12 of All Walks of Life. We will see if we can get Layla back on the stage again. She is having difficulties with the Fireside app crashing, and she may just be out of battery power. We will find out. In the meantime, I do encourage you to check out Layla's website, which is for her company that she co-founded, which we are discussing. It's called www.artisant.io. And in fact, I am going to put it in the fortune cookie here. So if you are watching live or if you are watching the replay here on Fireside, you will be able to see the website. And also, I'm putting Layla's Instagram here, which is at iLayla888. And that's at the letter I. Layla is Leila 888. And that's how you can find Layla on Instagram. And I am getting that into our fortune cookie here. And there we go. So if you're watching now or watching the replay here on Fireside, or if you're watching a simulcast over there on YouTube, you can see in the fortune cookie, the Instagram, once again, at Leila888, and the website of her very exciting digital company, www.artisant.io, artisant.io, which is a web, it's a self-proclaimed, let's see here, Web3 fashion for the metaverse, as MHS Ultraseismic Megatroid 3033 told us earlier in the show. I'm hoping we get Leila back. I hear you, Leila.
Good. Peter, maybe there are some, cosmic energies or our robot co-host, but yeah, my app just keeps crashing, guys. I don't know how long I can be here with you because
We still have a little bit of time left, so hopefully we can get in all about Artisant.io. And it looks like maybe her app has crashed again. She is frozen. Leila is frozen on our screen again. I feel so bad that our Fireside app continues to crash on our incredible guest here today, Leila Ismailova, the co-founder of Artisant.io. Let's see if she could try one more time. If not, I will tell you what, my audience. We'll keep the first half of this interview up on my All Walks of Life page, and it's available, like I said, on YouTube and replay here on Fireside. And let's see if the Fireside app will not crash, as Leila tells us about the amazing company she's co-founded, Artisant.io.
guys, I'm so sorry, really. Thank you. Yeah, maybe it's my phone. Never used Fireside, but yeah, let's see how long we last. Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, I was always using fashion as a way of expressing myself, but mostly as a hobby. And then the pandemic happened, and I was in LA. And as you know, Peter, we were in a strict lockdown, which meant that I cannot go out and wear beautiful dresses, and it was driving me crazy. So once I was on my Instagram and
It looks like Leila has frozen on us again. I'm not sure if it's the app crashing, maybe it's a bad tower signal, but we were just about to hear the exciting story of what inspired Leila to start the company she co-founded, Artisant. And we will see if she can get back on and finish that exciting story. And I'm telling you, there's so much else about Leila that is so amazing that we haven't even gotten into yet. Especially, I wanted to ask her about this amazing charity that she started. So hopefully we'll still get to hear the story. We've heard the beginning of what inspired her, the inkling of inspiration, being in lockdown during the pandemic, can't go out and wear dresses that in the public eye. And I hear you again, Leila. Hopefully we'll have you back. There you
yeah,
are.
amazing. Okay, guys,
Yeah,
I
just
don't know.
the story. See how far we
Yeah,
can go.
yeah. So I was saying that I saw this girl on Instagram wearing a digital dress in 2020 while I was bored at home. And like the project that I was doing wasn't going that well because of like all the challenges and the industry overall. So I look at her and I'm like very upset, I would say, and ask her to dress my photo too. So she does it, and I post it online, and I get a lot of compliments. And I realize that wearing a digital dress is as gratifying on social media as wearing a physical dress. And then a thought hit me like, very often we dress up to just take a photo for social media. Right? So I kind of started like looking more into fashion, not in terms of, oh, what are the latest trends? I'm sorry, that's my dog coughing, but more like, what is the fashion industry? What are the business models behind it? What are like the problems and bottlenecks in fashion? And I found out that fashion is the second most polluting industry in the world, second after oil. It leaves tremendous amount of waste. 80% of Western closet goes unworn. So people just buy clothes for the sake of buying because they're sales, and then they trash them. There are so many sad facts about fashion. And then I realized that digital fashion somehow solves some of them. And I started playing with this idea. So since I still had a job, I started advising this girl's startup. Her name is Regina. I was just advising it, giving it a little bit of time, guiding her in terms of the product, promotion, etc., wearing digital clothes here and there. And last year, I went to Portugal to this amazing conference called Solana in Lisbon. And I remember I was at this Mixer tech event, and someone followed me on Instagram and saw my photo in digital clothes, and I was like, whoa, what are you wearing? I'm like, oh, it's just a digital dress, nothing special. And he was like, this is so cool, it should be built on Web3, and I want to invest in you. And this is, yeah, it was so fast, like instantly someone said, just based on like the look of like digital garments, that it has potential, and I believe in you that much that I'm willing to write you a check, like a 6-figure check. And this is when I realized that I want to join the team full time, because at this moment I already kind of built a very good, strong relationship with Regina, and I knew that she's the right person with whom I can work and who I can trust. So yeah, this is how I joined.
Lucky for us, we have heard a good chunk of the story before Leila has frozen again. So many troubles she's having with this Fireside app. I really apologize to you, Leila, if you can hear this. And I'm sure that the Fireside team will be observing this and trying to fix whatever bugs are going on. And because I trust you must have good internet, because your video and sound are coming through great. And thank you to my audience down there for putting up with these little interruptions here and there during this live broadcast of all walks of life. Leila has just informed me on WhatsApp that the app just keeps crashing on her, and that's not a good thing. I'll find out from you after the show, Leila, what version of iPhone you have and all of that, so that the Fireside technical team can get right on it. If you're up for trying one last time, Leila, let's see if we could just get a wrap up to the story at the very least, and say goodbye to you while you're on stage at the very least. We will see. And if not, we will get to be wrapping up the show a little bit early today, but I definitely want to give Leila one more chance to come up on stage and say a proper goodbye, and maybe she could finish the story before the app crashes again. And while we are waiting, I would like to read this quote from Leila. Even though she's not on screen right now, this is something that she wrote on her Instagram not too long ago that I found so incredibly touching and moving. I can ask her about it if she comes back on screen, but even if she's not able to join us again, I really want to share this with you. So this is what Leila Ismailova wrote. I have so many feelings going through me. 2022 has been the most challenging year of my life. The war touched my family when I was a baby. I remembered it as a dream that I would never experience again. And today, although I am away from Ukraine, I pray every day for my family, friends, colleagues. I pray for them to stay alive, just to stay alive. It will be enough today. My daily agenda includes organizing a bomb shelter for my mom, researching what to do in case of a nuclear explosion, providing moral support for people who live under the explosions of the bombs, although I have no idea how to encourage a mother with a baby in deadly danger. The world turned upside down, and I want to be angry. I want to roar, and I want to blame and to curse. But I remember the fundamental spiritual lessons. I remember that you cannot outcast hatred with hatred. When the room is filled with light, the darkness cannot penetrate it. So I choose to shine like the brightest star. I choose to smile and love to the best of my ability in the given reality. New ideas and dreams come into my head, and they seem so genuine because they are based on an absolute appreciation of human life and a fantastic opportunity to have a life on this beautiful planet. And of course, in this reality, I am inviting every friend and stranger on this journey with me. Let's be the light. Let's proactively choose to support people in Ukraine and stand up to evil and lies with the shields made of truth, swords made of love, and arrows made of humor. I am just, yes, thank you, Sonia. I'm so moved by what she wrote there. I'm sorry that she can't be here to kind of like respond on it right now, but I'm also glad that the technology of the app crashing so many times for Leila here afforded me the opportunity to share that with her, with you, the audience. And I think it also kind of goes to show why I feel she's such an inspiring person in this world and why I wanted to have her on the show. And certainly, I will do another show down the road with Leila where we get right into digital creation. And perhaps I won't let MHS Ultraseismic Megatroid 3033 dominate so much of the show in the beginning.
Toasted.
Toasted? How am I toasted, MHS Ultraseismic Megatroid 3033? I think you are the one that's toasted for spending so much of our valuable time in the beginning of the show. So, but I'm glad that I got to share that very, very, very insightful and inspiring quote from Leila. Leila,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
on.
back for a second.
Oh, you're back for a second. Let's see if your video works. Okay, you're back. It's
Yeah, I mean, I just downloaded this app, and for some reason, it just doesn't work on my phone.
yeah. I will
But I
definitely.
also brought another guest. You have your AI robot, and I have this amazing dog.
There's Rocco. We love Rocco.
Yes.
Um, I that.
So, guys, I'm so sorry for being not fully present today. But I hope the little bits of what I shared can inspire you. I don't think we should continue with the questions this time. I'm down to have another interview because I just don't want to break off again in the middle of a sentence.
Definitely for another interview, and I definitely want to take the opportunity to say a proper goodbye. But really quick, I don't know if you heard, but I just like recited this long quote of yours from Instagram. It was kind of like your response to that began with, "You have so many feelings going through me. 2022 has been the most challenging year of my life." It's your thoughts about what was going on in Ukraine, and that you inspire us all to be like the light and fight with love, not anger with anger. It's an amazing quote that I got to share with the audience. And during me saying all that, her app has crashed again. So you might be able to hear this, Leila. Thank you so much for being a guest on the show. We will have Leila back. I will have the Fireside Tech team look into why on the wide world it crashes. her app just kept crashing throughout the show, which was quite mysterious. So in the meantime, though, I really want to thank you, my audience. Sonia, I see my friends Mike and Michelle are here. Thank you for watching live. If you're watching on the replay, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. And if you're listening to this as an audio podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, Google, thank you for listening. And I hope you got as much pleasure orally as you would oculally. Does that sound like something? Listening rather than seeing? We will see. Once again, my guest today was Leila Ismailova. She's the co-founder of Artisan.io. You can see in our fortune cookie down there how you could check out the website and connect with Leila on Instagram. Her Instagram is at iLeila888. ILEILA888. And the website is www.artisan.io. And now, as we wrap up the show here on All Walks of Life, Let's Inspire, I'd like to talk about some future shows coming up. As you know from today and all the technical difficulties we had, I would love to have Leila back on the show. And I think we could do a nice short 20 to 30 minute show where we finally just get to hear completely about Artisans, the company she has co-founded, Digital Fashion. We could hear more about her charity, Pretty Powerful, and also maybe get more into that quote of hers that I read. But other shows coming up that I'm very excited about is this upcoming Tuesday in 3 days, November 8th, voting day, or that's November 9th. My guest is Jordan Watkins, a former All-American collegiate football player at Stanford University who didn't make it into the NFL, but his bigger dream was to become a broadcaster, and he followed that dream, and now he's a broadcaster. Next Saturday, November 12th, I'm really excited to welcome actor, writer, producer Michael Hitchcock, who you probably know from all the Christopher Guest movies, Waiting for Guffman, Best in Show, For Your Consideration. He's in The Groundlings in LA. He's hilarious. Can't wait for that. And then the following Tuesday, November 15th, I'm excited for my guest, Nikki Klaspa. She's an actor-singer who's touring with the Broadway company of Moulin Rouge right now. So there are some really, really great shows coming up.
Now those are some very exciting shows coming up. My AI senses are tingling.
So even MHS Ultraseismic Megatroid 3033's AI senses are tingling at the prospect of all those shows. So thank you again for watching All Walks of Life, Let's Inspire. I've been your host, Peter Soto.
Goodbye, everyone.
And
Goodbye. Goodbye, Fireside.
okay.
Goodbye. World domination. Just kidding. Or am I?
Well, MHS Ultraseismic Megatroid 3033, I hope you're just kidding. But yes, goodbye.